Here we go, we're live. Let's try it again, part 2.
Apologies.
So we're just going to wait a second for it to pop up on Jayne's page and then share it. And feel free to share it, anybody that's watching. And do let us know that you're there. Put a quick comment in and let us know that you're watching. And let's start the discussion. Have you got it? Have you found it?
I shared you to my page. Let's just check that I'm on my that we're on.
Hello again. Good morning. So yesterday we went to Elevate in Excel, which is the Leisure Industry Week's new coronation. We've been going for 2 years, Jayne, or is it the third year? Second year?
You know, I barely put it. I'm hard to push to remember yesterday, not a year or 2 years. I know we did one previously because in my feed today, the pictures from last time came up.
They do. And it was very busy, very buzzy. We got there, got the train from the Midlands, and we were asked to sit on the EMD UK panel, which the interim CEO, Jill Cummins-Bell, did a presentation all about pay. They've done some research with their members and operators to see where we are currently, 2023, with pay. So do you want to pick it up from Jill's talk?
Yeah, she did a really eloquent talk on the elephant in the room. She referred to it that we are underpaid. And often when you take out all of the contributing factors, especially with inflation, we're actually paid less. Even if someone's paid £25, which is like the midsection, and when you take out all of the costs and everything that's related, the actual take-home pay is about £7.50 or less, which is way below minimum wage. And
the panel was you and me representing Group X instructors, and then we had Catherine Firmer, who was the operations director from the gym group, and Sarah Durnsford, who is, we think, head of education at Les Mills, but she was the Les Mills representative. So a fair spread across the industry. And it was, your thoughts from there?
Well, I thought both of those women had really great points, really eloquently put, and certainly what I thought was highlighted to me, and we must all consider this, are very, very passionate about what they're doing and their perspective. And I think we must always consider that as the industry changes, that no one's attacking the Group X instructor. And I think for it to change, it made me realise you, me, have to change. It's not everyone else is going to change and we will get more money. You have to change. And I have a few points on that may be a little bit difficult to stomach in some instances, but they are my perspective on why pay is standing still and what we have to do to change that.
Yeah, and everybody gave their perspective, and the floor was quite quiet, as you said earlier. Nobody really asked any questions for a while, and you've got a perspective on why. Why do you think?
Well, I think we've been dumbed down. I think we have been quietened. And I think social media has a lot to do with this. On social media now, people are scared to give their view. So when you or they're giving their view via this, that actually when you get into the live space, conversation, open discussion without judgment, and having the nerve or the confidence to say, well, I think very differently to you. At one point, Catherine challenged me and said, actually, I don't agree with you. And I know personally, when people go, I don't agree, I don't get upset or angry. It's like, oh, wow, come on then. The boxing gloves are on, but we're only going to spar here. We're not actually going to throw punches. I love that. And then I can go back at you with why I think you're talking rubbish.
But the talk did get a bit feisty. We got some great interaction with the audience, some great questions and some points that really resonate with you and I as being instructors and working for operators. Very eloquently, the lady in the audience asked a really great question.
Oh, she was amazing. And
she was
her anyway.
She was fantastic. But I think what was interesting was the perspectives from the operators was when you're fielding such a big timetable with a wide variety cross-section of classes, paying everybody £25 is just, they're just not going to do it, are they? They just say that they can't afford to do it. There's not the finance to do it. So my counter to that was, okay, so it's not just about pay, it's about respect. It's about all the other things that an operator could provide, potentially. They could provide the music, they could provide PPL, they could sort out the insurance. There's so many additional costs to what an instructor does that a club could, in my opinion, pick up. Do you? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think the get out there, which I thought was a bit soft get out, is, well, this all comes down to being employed or self-employed.
Yeah, that's what she said.
You can't when you're self-employed. Well, you actually can. I mean, everyone that works for my company, Group X Training, is self-employed. And what I'm constantly trying to do, even though I've had to make cutbacks because we're at this difficult time, is find avenues in which they can then increase their income. Well, you can do this and you can do that and you can do the other. Whether they have the skills or the motivation to go out and do those things, I'm constantly thinking in my head, I can't afford to pay you more right now, but I can create a new avenue in which you can earn more. For example, one of the things that makes my blood boil is the virtual. You know, and Sarah was saying, well, the studios have so much downtime, let's stick Les Mills virtual on so they can go on and do it. But my view is, if the studios always had downtime, let's stick an instructor in there, testing new things, doing new things, being innovative, trying new ideas. And that comes down to, which will always be my point on pay, which you hate it when I say this, because it's just masking. Third party is killing pay. And when I say third party, I mean Les Mills. And when I say Les Mills, it's not because I hate it. I think it's amazing. It's the thing that's killing the pay. It has stopped it dead in the water.
Yeah. Okay, and I'm going to follow that one. You've got 3 points that you wanted to talk about. What else did you think? I think these discussions are good, and I'm hoping that everybody will watch you and I, and whether you agree or disagree, or you have a different opinion, or you can see something from a different side, we need to have these conversations, because if we can feed this back to EMD UK, they can see it. And then we can start to make changes, but we have to start talking about this and talk about it objectively and try and come up with solutions, see things from different sides and try and look at different perspectives, and then we can all move forward together. I know that's a utopian view. But yeah, so please do keep going in the comments. I agree with Jayne. Yeah, keep it going in the comments. What were the other things that you wanted to talk about?
Okay, so you've just highlighted one of those things before I get onto my rant, which is the only reason I'm ever invited to these things, isn't it? Let's face it. But I think what the instructor needs to do now is, when we say we can feed it back to EMD UK, and EMD UK are primed now to make change. But what we have to do, we have to learn how many times, reps, SimSpa, reps again. Now, EMD UK are in the prime position to help us make change. But we can't go joining everything and paying everything and then expect them to organise a better pay for us. The better pay will come from us, of the person on the ground floor, the teacher, making the necessary changes. EMD UK, I'm confident, will help us. I'm also confident that reps didn't and SimSpa haven't to date. Maybe this will all kickstart it, who knows? But we can't keep making the same mistakes and being forced to join organisations that don't do what you want them to do, because what happens then is we miss the good work that SimSpa do. We miss all the things that they are doing on a daily basis that don't affect our pay or don't affect us. And now we have to be really mindful that we join organisations that do represent us and do make changes.
Yeah, I agree. So I'm just saying, not just bad pay, but bad support. That was my point yesterday. It's not just about the pay, it's about respect, it's about additional, that you and I have just talked about, it's about additional things that can be provided relatively low cost to make instructors feel part of something and part of a team. Okay, the other 2 points, what else did you want to raise? I think, yeah, go on.
Here's my biggest point, Preppy. If you as a teacher have joined the tribe and you pay whatever money monthly for someone to give you your content, and that content is identical to every other instructor and every other club in the area, country, world, you cannot expect to be paid more for a standardized, homogenized product. So when people come to Les Mills, they're coming, the hierarchy is all wrong for you to advance as a professional, because they're coming for the brand and they're coming for the Les Mills product. What you have to decide is, does Les Mills value you enough as an instructor to give you the scope you need in order to advance and become better and earn more money? Now, the conversation yesterday went to virtual. I could be wrong. No one is in danger of replacing me with AI. No one. But they are making a virtual version here that cuts you out of the studio. And I think what we must also do is flip back to day one, body training systems. Their remit was to get rid of the group exercise instructor by creating a program that the gym instructors could teach, that the receptionists could teach, so they wouldn't have to have this self-employed offering. What happened really quickly is they realized that they can't do it. You've got gold, you've got magic, and that magic is you. So when you get up in front of that group, people can't replicate it. Not everyone can do it. But then the group exercise instructors jumped on Les Mills for so many good reasons, and they decided to teach the standardized program. And because of that, there's no scope for a pay rise. So I am not saying don't teach Les Mills. I'm saying if you want a pay rise, reduce it and come up with your own content and start providing the operators with something that they have to pay more for. That's the hard step. And that's why everyone will find excuses and reasons not to. Like, I can't get where all my clubs want is Les Mills. We need to change it. Only we can change that. They're not going to change it. They get Les Mills. It's simple.
Okay, I'm going to throw a spanner in the works on that one. Oh, look at the comments coming in. Can you read them all, Jay? Can you see them all? But I think we are living in a world where everything is becoming globalized. Every business is Starbucks around the world. An operator is looking to develop more sites. They want more size. They want to grow their brands, their businesses. So it can't be different in different areas. That's the problem. That's why you look at all the brands, they've got the same timetable, the same classes, because they can standardize it, they can scale it, that word. It's very difficult to scale when you've got a range of all different classes. You remember the old classes back in the day, you'd get abs blast, abs and tone, abs this, abs that. There'd be 16 different names of abs, all different teachers teaching it. And that became a problem as well. The consumer would look at a timetable and think, well, where do I go? Which abs class do I want? Because there's 10 with 10 different names. So it's multi-layered, isn't it? It's, gosh, look at all these.
Yeah, and I understand that. Remember, you're speaking to the person who killed Step through being completely ridiculous. But at the end of the day, life is like that. It has become so vanilla in so many ways. But we're talking about pay. And if you want more pay, we have to change that. Now it is changing. I took someone on for level 2 group fitness this week. And he asked if we could have a conversation. And I'm always, yeah, let's chat. And basically, he'd come in as a Les Mills instructor. And I want to give more. I don't like their level of exercise prescription. So #1, the level of exercise prescription is poor. If the client wants more out of their training program, they're not going to get it out of repeat. What release we're on? What release are we on? And we're still matrixing a bicep curl that's not a bicep curl, and we're still centralizing a lunge that's not a lunge. You can't escape that. So if the client wants more and the instructor wants more, then there will become a hierarchy. I think one of the big arguments that's misplaced us is, I can't believe it that you don't have to be qualified to teach Les Mills. Well, you don't, because you're spoon-fed. And as a new instructor, it's the most brilliant way to enter the industry with this spoon-fed program. And then level 2 or whatever qualification should now sit higher than that so that they can move forward. And when they've done that, the industry needs to make way for better pay. There is better pay because they're earning it in communities, they're earning it in corporates, they're earning it in places that have seen beyond standardization. But if we're going to opt for a standardized world, we cannot then go, well, why aren't you paying me more?
Good points. Kim says she changed the body pump on a timetable to total body tone and numbers halved. It's better music and similar, but instructors own choreography because people are looking for a brand. There isn't that is the good thing now. As you and I are standing here today on the 15th of June, there is another option. You can hire space, you can go online, you can teach in an app. There's just so many ways now. A Fit Pro can take their expertise and build a good income and a good business elsewhere.
But let me, always the nitpicker, you've taken body pump off and you've changed it with total body tone. Well, that name is old-fashioned. It doesn't equate to a better product than body pump. You've done the right thing, you've changed it, but there's no such thing as tone. Tone is the state that your muscle is in between flaccid and its endpoint spastic. We don't affect muscle tone. We affect so many other things. So put it in the title. Tell them what it is. Make sure they know that this class is like body pump, but better. You are the Carlsberg. It's all in the marketing. We can't go backwards in our marketing to move forwards in our pay. Get rid of legs, bums, and tums. It's demeaning. It makes no sense in 2023 as women.
So what were your other points?
Come on, shape up. Let's move it forward. We want more pay. Let's like professionals that know our market, that know our product. We know this product inside out. All we've got to do is build it up, shape it up, and smack it out there. And you shouldn't be replacing body pump. You should be putting things on next to body pump. Went to body pump yesterday. The greatest thing, I always teach this in freestyle is when someone comes up to you and goes, I've been doing body pump for the past 15 years and no one ever told me that. You've got them in the palm of your hand. No one ever said that. The results are so much different because I'm squatting below 90 degrees now with less weight. I realise now that what I've been doing for 15 years is a nervous twitch.
So let's go back to pay. Let's bring it back to pay. Let's bring it back to pay. So what do you think operators can do? How can they make the group exercise role more attractive? What else can they do? Let's take pay out of it for a second. What do you think operators can do that they can do immediately?
Do you know what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a step back. What do you think on that? Because I can't speak for the operators. My experience lies only in being a highly paid group exercise instructor. So when I speak at you here and rant at you in my way, what I'm trying to do is give you the tools that I know work. It's a harder job than when I used to do it because the operators want something different. It takes me more thought to think on what the operators are doing. David Lloyd, for example, are great. They're phasing out Les Mills, aren't they? You can see it happen. And they're replacing it with another standardized program. I think we need to open conversations with them and reintroduce them to the fact that instructors are very well qualified. They've gone through the level 2 off-qual system of of training. And if you give them the opportunity, they can come up with a program that will satisfy their members.
Okay. And I think maybe generally look after their instructors in a better way, provide more support for their instructors, just really simple things, as I've said. So provide more support, memberships, help them with the music, their insurance, their upskilling, their CPD. There's a lot of extra that can be easily implemented, but we do find that often the group fitness manager is probably only on a 10-hour week or a less, or is working across a couple of different sites. So they're very thin on the ground as well, and their resources are stretched. So it is multifaceted, and there's a lot of different layers to it. But I think it's good to start the conversation, get everybody in the chat talking. Yeah. What would you do? What would you do if you're an operator? What would you want? And what would you want as instructor? No, just people in the chat. It would be good to get people's views. It's one thing to say, yes, this is wrong, it's broken and it's not working. Yeah. But then the other side of that, okay, so what do you suggest? What would work?
I do have one little point.
Yeah.
Something that I'm going to elaborate on this in a different post is, if you take yoga, which I'm in, I think we have to start asking questions that we don't ask because we're a bit scared that we'll alienate the operator. But take Virgin Active. So Virgin Active employ me and you to create a gateway program for them called Nova, which we did, and it was ultimately successful. The basis of Nova is freestyle fitness yoga and fitness Pilates, which are short courses designed for the fitness instructor. Once Nova's done 11 releases and been ultimately successful for them, we then get an email saying, we're not allowing people to teach freestyle fitness yoga and fitness Pilates now. They don't recognise it. Well, that doesn't make sense to me. You've just capitalised upon it for the past 5 years using this program. Take one step further. Active now advocate 200-hour yoga teacher training. Well, that slaps in the face all the off-qual qualifications that all of their instructors have done previously, and it's a 35-year-old mandate that makes no sense. So they've got to start getting up and saying, someone here has ill-advised you on your training for yoga instructors. Someone here is keeping you in the dark ages, and you, in your non-wisdom, are promoting this to an audience of instructors that are loyal to you and have jumped through the hoops that you've asked them to jump through for the past 15 years with their fitness qualifications. So why not choose one of the many training providers that offer off-qual based level 3 and level 4 yoga teacher training, and stop shoving them out of the industry into people that you don't know, teaching things that don't take their previous experience and qualifications into consideration. Shape up, man up, and start assisting your instructor to be better in a respectful way. You've just U-turned them, you've walked them into a dead-end wall, and now you're shoving them off somewhere else.
Okay. Well, good point, well made. We've got some good comments in. I do think this is something that would be needed to be explored as well, is then why have a timetable with all those classes on, taught by lots of different instructors? Would it not be more cost effective, and I don't know the answer to this, would it be more cost effective to employ instructors who teach a range of classes for that club and on an employed basis? Wonder why they don't do that.
Would that not up their costs though?
I don't know. But
tax implications, I don't know. I mean, a lot of people are employed, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
And they don't form the basis of the mass instructor. I don't think. I'm out the loop on that.
Yeah, good one. Okay, well, you and I have waxed lyrical for 25 minutes. Ooh. So I think it would be... We're filming this live in the morning, so hopefully by the end of the day we've got some good comments going. People have got some different perspectives, ideas, thoughts, feelings, emotions, questions, ramblings, all of the above. Yeah, and let's feed it back. Let's have a chat with...
Be emotional, people. Be happy, be sad, be angry, let's start saying what we've got to say, and then, but listen, also, we must listen to one another.
Absolutely. And taking everybody's perspective and point of view, everybody's valid. Thanks, Jayne. Thanks for spending the time today. Thanks everybody. Hope you enjoyed the show.